Hello everyone, welcome back. It is the final day of 2014, so it is time to do a 2014 wrap-up video. Which I actually regret not doing for 2013, because 2012, that was like my first year, and I barely knew how to do anything in this field, so I didn't even have it in my head to do it. But 2013, I was starting to get more into it, so probably should have done it. Although I was still using Windows Movie Maker in 2013, so maybe it's for the best. But anyway, from now on, I'm going to start doing end-of-the-year wrap-ups at the end of the year, so let's go ahead and start this one now. Now, 2014, it is a very unusual year, because it started out pretty damn awful. One of the worst starts of the year that I've had in quite a long time. And towards the end of the year was one of the best I've had in a while, so it's actually been a pretty decent year. Now, for starters, I had a Facebook page. Well, I still have the main page, the one that I own, but I had this whole group, and we had a whole series of pages. The main one was Kill It Before It Lays Eggs. It had like 600,000 likes, something up there, and we were doing well. We were getting a lot of views, a lot of likes. I was getting a lot of those likes, bringing them back to my page as well, and pretty successful, pretty small group that we had running this page. And yeah, everything was going great until a random admin comes out of nowhere, and he kind of acted like a plague, and he essentially just did nothing but cause problems. Because the main guy, he added me onto that big page ever since 2012, towards the end, because that's when I started my original Facebook page, and that's where most of this started from. My YouTube channel wasn't even called Colin the Gamer back then, it was Colin9413C, which, as you can tell, rolls off the tongue. So, when it gave me the option to change the name, I jumped on that immediately, and changed it to something that actually sounds better, and more searchable. But anyway, so we were doing all this, and we had one of these ad sites that you post links to, and people click on it, and you get money from that. And I actually made a pretty decent penny. In about 4 months, I made $2,000 just off posting ads. And that is ridiculous, because it took me about 20 seconds to copy and paste those ads, and $2,000 for 4 months. I mean, that's unheard of. That's crazy. It was insane to me how much money that was. But apparently the main guy, he didn't like that I was posting them, even though we were all posting them. I guess I was posting too many per day, but it was 2 per day, so I mean, that's not that much. And he was posting about that much per day anyway. So I was trying to balance it out with regular posts and all of that, and eventually this other guy who came out of nowhere and dropped off the map immediately after the pages went down, so shows his commitment. But anyway, he was telling the main guy that ran all the pages that, oh, I don't listen to him, and I don't care about him, and I'm just doing it for the money. So he came and talked to me about it, and I said, oh no, that's ridiculous. I've known you longer than this guy, whatever. But he found a way to sway him, so I was taken off the page, pretty abruptly, actually. And the main guy wasn't really hostile towards me. Like, we had a talk about it, and I was like, okay, well, if you want to add me back at any point, then go ahead and do that. And he said, okay, well, after a while, I'll probably add you back on there. So all of that success that I had in 2013... basically getting free advertisement off of this giant network, just completely crashed. But somewhat of a silver lining, about 3 or 4 days, and this looks very suspicious towards me, but I swear I had nothing to do with it. But 3 or 4 days after I was taken off the page, a hacker got into the page somehow. I guess somebody, one of the admins, stupidly clicked on a link, which you're not supposed to do when you admin a page. I mean, that's 101 for running an internet business. But anyway, he clicked on the link, and somebody got his account information, and he was able to somehow turn himself from moderator to owner. And once he did that, he posted a bunch of pretty bad content. I wasn't there to see it, but apparently it was a lot of, like, graphic stuff and racist stuff and stuff like that. And Facebook took it down within about 2 hours. So it must have been pretty bad, because the overwhelming amount of reports that people were sending into that page just completely crashed it. And he changed the name to something incredibly offensive too. That someone took a screenshot of, but I will not say what the page was changed to. But anyway, this guy got in, he hacked the page, he took everything down. And not only that, but when he took down the main page, the guy that ran everything, that ran all of the page networks, if you get banned, it bans you personally. So he got banned, and that took down every page that he had under his network. So not only did the one page fall, everything fell. So it's actually probably the best thing that could have happened to me is being taken out of that page, because my name was no longer in that list for the hacker to do whatever. I mean, that would have been awful if he got my page. I would have been really mad. But anyway, so basically my free advertisement was cut off completely, and I was immediately thrown into doing everything for myself, and that's essentially what 2014 was for me. It was no more handouts. I had to pretty much do everything on my own, and everything that I did had to be paid for out of my pocket. So it was definitely a new experience, and for the first part of 2014, it really, really slowed down my channel. It was terrible. I mean, it was record low numbers that I was pulling in. And I started a ad campaign, which was one of the first that I started, because I started one at the end of the year in 2013 for my top 10 games of 2013 ad, which I did again this year and I'm going to do every year, but that was the only ad that I ever had. So after that year ended, I don't think I have a screenshot, or maybe I won't be allowed to put up a screenshot of the YouTube statistics, but it is a pretty big drop once the year ends, because you can see the point where I was taken off the pages, and free advertisement for my channel and my videos and everything just completely plummets after that. So yeah, the beginning of 2014 was not a good year. And it was actually, I even stated, and I hate looking back on stuff like this because it just makes me angry, but I stated that 2014 was going to be my year of rapid expansion, because I was going to start posting more often on that page network. I was going to start doing more things, and pretty much just expand in every direction. And about, I would say a week after posting that, that's when I got taken off the page and all the takedowns and the hacking and everything. So it was bad. It put me into quite a bad mood, and that's why early this year I didn't really post any videos. And it's also why I post less videos now, because before I would post something crazy like 5 videos every 2 days, and that was just way too much. And mostly it was because I didn't really edit my videos, but it was also because I had a lot more time on my hands, and now that I'm actually doing more things outside of the internet, it's kind of hard to devote all that time to it. So I'm more on a schedule of posting like 3 videos every week, 2 videos every week, something like that. It's also a matter of overloading my channel, because if you post too many videos, then people are just like, I don't want to watch it. So if you post them evenly spread out, then it'll give them time to watch each one individually. That's what I've noticed with a lot of channels. If you just keep uploading and uploading and uploading, each individual video will not get very many views, which means you're posting way too many videos for them to watch each one, so if you don't space it out, that's just how it's going to happen. It's all going to pile up. So anyway, early 2014, pretty bad. Started off train wreck, and then I had a little bit of success when it comes to games like Plants vs. Zombies, but for the first, I'd probably say like 8 months, the most a video got was like 6,000 views. And that was crazy. That was that was not good. That is a long time to have that short amount of views. And the ad campaign that I started, which you can look up, it's the one called What Are You Waiting For? It's for Q1. There's a whole playlist of the ads that I have, but it's the 36 second ad, something like that. And I did that, and it was actually my first ad in that format that I've ever created, because the first one was just basically a black screen with text on it, and it had my voice, and that was it. And this ad was one that I implemented music, I had gameplay and stuff like that. So it's a little rough. It's the first time I've ever done something like that. And I started at an ad budget of 1 penny per view. So every time it popped up and somebody clicked skip ad, or if somebody clicked on the ad, I paid $1 for that view. Now here's the thing that I didn't know. If you do it that way, you're basically screwing yourself over. If you're going to run an ad campaign, you have to put at least 3 pennies per view, because otherwise your ads will not run anywhere where anyone's going to be interested in it. I checked the ad campaign later and the countries that it was played in, and I didn't recognize more than half of them. And I then knew the reason why I wasn't getting very many conversions, which is subscribers and people coming to my channel, because, no one knew what it was. That's why my more recent ads are only running in 5 different countries, and it's because I looked at the demographic of my channel, and I looked at the top 5 countries that watch my stuff on their own, like organic views. I look at the countries that are finding my videos, and then I advertise to them, because clearly those countries are already looking for my stuff, so it's better to show it to them than take a chance and show it to the entire world. But anyway, so the first ad, it did get a lot of views, but that's because I paid for the views, so, views are going to happen either way. But I got next to no new subscribers, and the video campaign actually went up to over 10,000 views, which is a lot of time for people to subscribe, but it just didn't work out. So that was a secondary failure to the beginning of 2014, and it pretty much stagnated from there. After I created that ad, I didn't really make very many new videos, and I honestly can't even remember that gap. I know my friend Tim and I, we did 3 videos, or podcasts really, called the Gaming Improved Podcast. which is basically what the company is that I've created, and the channel Colin the Gamer falls under that. So I don't have any of that in place yet, but you'll probably be seeing more of that in 2015. But yeah, so that early to mid-year of 2014, barely active, and then during the fall I started to pick back up again. It wasn't really until around July or August that I started to get back into it, because I then created my second ad, which this time it was 1 minute and 30 seconds long, and this one was a lot better than the original. Not only was the cuts and the transitions and all of that better, but everything about it's just better. You could watch that one as well. It's called Colin the Gamer Trailer The Best. It's also under the playlist. But anyway, that trailer was a ton better. And surprisingly, in the first, I think, 2 days of that ad campaign running, it did better than the ad campaign that I had running for 2 months. So 2 days of this new one did better than the old one in 2 months, as far as bringing in new subscribers. So it was clear that this one was a lot better. And it's because this one I added 3 pennies per view, which basically means that when you raise the number, like if you put, let's say, 8 pennies per view, then what that's going to mean is when your ad shows up in the auction house, then people will think, oh, well, that one has 8 cents per view, so let's go ahead and pick that one. And then usually the people that pick the 8 cents are going towards the big channels, like maybe your ad will play for a PewDiePie video or a Rooster Teeth video or something like that. So the higher you put your value on it, the higher chance you are of going to be having your ad played in front of a big channel. So you have a bigger market to go for. The problem is it costs a lot of money to do that. So what I do is I go around 3 to 4 cents, because then you'll be able to advertise in the big countries like Canada, the United States, the UK, Australia, and Japan, because those are typically where you're going to get your most views when it comes to gaming. So that's what I would recommend. And it definitely showed, because the second one did leagues better than the other one. And then I still kind of stagnated for the rest of after that ad until September. That's when a lot of the games started coming out. And most of all was Destiny. Dear Lord, that game did more for my channel than any other game so far. And that's saying a lot, because in 2013, I uploaded a ton of Devil May Cry videos, the reboot, because I really love that game. And I got a lot from that. I got a lot of views, I got a lot of recognition, and I've been shared by the official Capcom Facebook page twice, and I won one of their combo contests for the game, and they sent me this sweet-looking canvas art that I still have today. So yeah, my entire experience with that game was just incredible. And the amount of views that it brought up, I think it might still have more views than Destiny has in total, but Destiny at this point, the views that it's given my channel is just, it's crazy. The craziest part about it is those Destiny videos I uploaded back in September, and they're still getting pretty much the same amount of views per day as they were in September. And it's more than 3 months later, so it's insane that it's still able to keep up that amount of views for this long of a stretch. And I check every day because they added this new thing that's like a real-time check, where you can see how many views you got in the last 48 hours, and how many views you got in the last 60 minutes. So it's very useful for keeping up on modern information, because the other way you would have to check is just going to the analytics, and those only update every day. So if you want to keep up with it constantly, then this is definitely the best way to do it. And yeah, I've gotten a lot of views on another few games like Far Cry 4, and Super Smash Bros. Brought in a good amount of views. Sunset Overdrive, that's why I haven't really uploaded that many videos for it. And then you have games like Borderlands the pre-sequel, and the Master Chief Collection, and all of these games did very well in terms of views for my channel, and Destiny still being the highest right now. I didn't make very many of them, but over the course of 3 videos, I have over 100,000 views off those 3 videos. So that is crazy to me, because my channel has not seen numbers like that in a long time. It usually takes like an entire year for that. And the video that's still the top right now, it has 85,000 views, and that's my most viewed video right now. It is the Devil May Cry Super Dante gameplay, but my Warlock abilities and tips video for Destiny is getting very, very close to that. It's at about 67,000, I think, right now, and it's getting about 2,000 views per day. So it's going to surpass that. And hopefully it's going to be my first video that reaches 100,000 views off of just one video, because that's insane to me. I mean, that's more than I had in 2012 of all those videos I uploaded. To think that one video has more views than that is just crazy. And it makes me really happy that stuff like this is happening, because it seems like every year things are just scaling higher and higher. And I'm hoping to eventually get to the point where having a video with 65,000 views is just average. Like, that just happens all the time. I upload a video and bam, 65,000 views. Because it's becoming more and more frequent that my videos pass a big threshold, and it's definitely getting to the point higher than earlier years where videos are just doing better than they did before. So I'm hoping this trend continues, because it's definitely looking that way, so, I mean, hope for the best. And also, my PS4 just came in the mail. I ordered that about, 4 or 5 days ago, and it just got here, and it's pretty damn fun, I will have to say. It came with a free copy of Little Big Planet 3, which is really good, and I'm glad that it brings over stuff from Little Big Planet 2, because I would have missed my levels otherwise. And it also came with a $10 code, which I used to buy a month of PlayStation Plus, and I downloaded a lot of free-to-play games, including Loadout and, Blacklight Retribution, I think it is, which are both pretty good games. So I'm definitely happy with my PS4 so far. And I'm going to be picking up Infamous Second Sons next, because that was the one PS4 game that I was thinking I was really, really missing out on. So I'm glad that I actually own one now so I can play it. And I'm going to be picking that up soon, because I can't go another day without playing it. But anyway, so next year you will be seeing some more PS4 stuff as well, because now I have a Wii U, an Xbox One, and a PS4, so I'm completely next gen. So anything that comes out, I can play it. And that is good for the channel as well. So anyway, my stats doing better this year actually brings me on to my next point, which is my plan to end the channel. Now, I know that sounds scary, but let me explain first. Basically, what I mean by that is there are 3 main stats that you want to watch out for when you have a YouTube channel, and that's views, estimated minutes watched, and your estimated revenue at the end of the year. Revenue is typically the least important when you're talking about building a channel. Revenue is really for once your channel is already successful, and now you're thinking, well, let's try to turn this into a job. So try to push that statistic out of the way for now, and just focus on the other 2. But basically, as long as 2 out of the 3 stats are better than the previous year, then I'll keep running videos on my channel. But if 2 of the 3 stats are less than the previous year, then that's the end. I'm stopping the channel and not uploading any more videos. And it's not coming from the fact of, oh, I didn't get enough views this year, I'm just going to end the channel. It's basically a sign that your channel's not growing if you don't get more than the previous year. So if I take that as a sign of the channel not growing, and I just don't really want to waste time doing that. But luckily that's not the case. My channel is continuing to grow. So don't worry, I'm not ending the channel anytime soon, as long as 2015 doesn't fail on me. But I'll most likely do it as a 2-year thing. Like if my stats are not doing as well as the previous year, then I'll give it 1 more year. And then if in that year it's not as good as the original previous year, so basically in 2016, if it's not as good as 2014, then I'll end it. I'll most likely do it that way, because that's more fair than just saying 1 year is it, because that's a lot of guesswork. But anyway, let's move on to 2013 and 2014 comparisons. In 2013, I had a total amount of views of 293,064 views for the entire year, and then I had estimated minutes watched, 934,912 minutes watched for the entire year. And then as far as revenue goes, I gained $39.89. I know, big spender. It's crazy. And it's actually not even that much because my partner company takes a 40% cut of that. And this number, before the 40% cut, YouTube takes a 50% cut. So people are putting a lot of hands in my money, and I'm not really happy about that. On to 2014, and this is actually the first year that I finally hit a million digit for 1 year, so that's pretty exciting. But anyway, in terms of views, this year I gained 343,720 views, which is a staggering 50,000 more than last year, and the year's not done yet. So the statistics for this year, they haven't even fully come in yet, so I have to wait until about January 2nd for all of that to come in, so it's probably going to be about 4,000 higher than that. Which I'm actually going to come back and do another video which goes more in depth into the stats of all this. So anyway, estimated minutes watched, I gained 1,285,982 minutes watched this year, which is crazy to me, because my views were slightly more than last year, but the estimated minutes watched were a ton more than last year, which means that not only do I have more views, but more people are sticking around and watching my videos instead of just clicking off and going on to something else. Which is really one of the most important stats. You want people to sit there and watch your video, not click on it and say, I don't like this, and then move away. And then on to revenue, I made $528.49, which again, they take a 40% cut of that. But anyway, it's still better than last year, and going from $39 to $528, That is really good. And 2015, I'm guaranteed to make like a minimum of $1,000. So that is crazy to me. And hopefully that continues to stack as well, because I would like to do more things each year and expand and keep getting bigger. And money is definitely a big portion of that. I know a lot of people say that money isn't everything, but when it comes to starting a business as well as starting a channel, money is very important. I mean, every video I make is usually in a game, and for that I need to go out and buy the game. And not just that, I need to buy the console that I play it on, and the TV to watch it on, and then I have to buy a recording software to record it with, and then a microphone to record my audio with, which microphones are not cheap, and recording hardware is not cheap either. The one that I have is $170, and the one that I'm going to be upgrading to is $180. So you're definitely going to be in the red for a while. And that's why I'm glad to see that my YouTube channel is making more money, because it's not so much as in giving me profit, more as in reimbursing me for the amount of money that I pretty much sank into the channel. So it's really good that it's doing that, at least, because a lot of people will sink money into something and just not get it back. I'm glad this way I actually do get my money back from doing this. So it works out in both ways. It's a win-win. And the craziest part to me is that the fourth quarter of this year, I gained 161,903 views. That is more than half of the entire views that I got in 2013. So what that means is in 2015, I can essentially double the amount of views that I got in 2013. And that's just crazy to me. Because, as I said, the stats aren't showing any indication of slowing down, and even if they do after 3 months, I mean, that's already a lot of views being put into the pot. So I don't doubt that next year I'll have 600,000 views in total, or hopefully even more than that, just given the stats that I have right now and where they could be going in the future. So yeah, as you heard right there, all 3 of the main areas are higher than last year, so my channel will continue to go on in 2015. So, round of applause for that. And I actually plan on doing more stuff next year, and bigger stuff. It's not going to be as big as 2016, because 2016 I have some crazy things planned. And I'm actually going to start doing some live action shows, which are going to be showing me in person, with my face and everything, which has been kept under wraps since 2012, so be a grand unveiling 4 years later. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's been a pretty good year. I mean, if you put away what happened at the beginning of the year, everything at the end of the year I was completely okay with, and it was actually one of the best in a while. Although I pretty much killed myself during the top 10 games of 2014, because the top 10 downloadable games of 2014, that was pretty difficult to make, not in terms of skill, but in terms of just constant sitting down in front of a computer, and the top 10 games of 2014 completely dwarfs that. I really hope I don't have to do that again next year. Basically what I did is I procrastinated, which I usually do, and I have a pretty big issue with that. I do it more frequently than I should. But this year I said that the top 10 games of 2014 is coming out on Monday, and on Sunday morning I pretty much had an entire 2 or 3 days of work in front of me in order to get it out. So instead of spreading it out over the days, I stayed up for 20 hours straight working on that video, and then uploaded it. I can't remember what exactly the time was, but I'm pretty sure the time was I started at 2 p.m. on Sunday, and I didn't finish until 10 a.m. on Monday. So it was a ridiculous amount of time to stay up and sit in front of a computer. It was terrible, just plain and simple. I do not recommend it for anyone. But I made a promise and I wasn't going back on it, and I'm glad I did. Because people appreciated that as well, that I did that. And I actually made myself sick in the process, which I actually say at the beginning of the video. And yeah, it was a terrible experience. Next year, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to spread it out over a week instead of waiting until the last day. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say in this video. I think that pretty much wraps up everything in 2014. If I did miss anything, I'm going to upload a video in about 2 or 3 days going over more of the statistical side of my channel. And I'm actually going to go as far back as 2012 because I have an entire spreadsheet. And yeah, I'm going to go deeper into that. And then after that, I'm going to take a tiny break because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new ad for 2015. And then I might make 2 this year. I'll do one for Q1 and Q2. And then I'll do another ad for Q3 and Q4. So I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to do. I'm probably going to do like 2 ads per year. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you next year. Happy New Year, everyone.